Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is DB333, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4, Kaiserreich as Mongolia. Now, in the last video, we had a little coup happen due to rebellions in the west taking up most of the army's time. We had the socialists led by Solin Danzan coup the government about 2 days after we were told that there was going to be a power struggle in Urga and we need to be careful. They weren't wrong, apparently. So yeah, here we are now. And we might stick with. I think we're going to stick with the Social Democrats and go with democracy in Mongolia. But we'll just wait and see. You know what's going to happen. So let's get going. We gotta try to stabilize a power base that we just took probably 2-3 days ago. Or a few days, relatively recently. So we gotta get working on that, you know? Oop, rebels take Beldir. After weeks of constant fighting in the west, national troops are beginning to beat the rebels in the steppes. To counter this, it seems the rebels have changed their tactics. They've instead decided to take full control of multiple main cities in the region and hold out for as long as possible. We see this currently, with rebel groups currently sieging out our last forces in Uliastai. Another example of this is Beldir, the current capital of Tuva. A few weeks ago, a small detachment of rebels traveled across western steppes to Beldir, where they were quickly able to defeat the small garrison in the city. With control in Beldir, they have effective control over the Tuvan province, and we'll have to take it back before we're able to finally defeat these rebels. Well, shoot. Okay. Reinvade Tuva. The forces that have invaded Beldir, though rather strong, seem to be getting supplies and reinforcements from a bandit outpost just north Orkov. I think we mean Ovkovd. Though we could move directly into Beldir to fight them head-on, we also have the option to cut their forces before attacking from all sides. Cut off their forces. Yep. You got mechanical engineering. There we go. What do we want now? We might want to get better guns. That's what I'm thinking. Let's get working on that now. So we're going to have to hold off, see how the Tuva invasion goes. The enemy is cut off. By moving our forces to their supply lines and moving in from all sides before they were ready, we were able to fully attack our rebel forces. However, this was costly for us, as a relatively large force put up a good fight. Well, it is worth it for victory. Lost 1,000 manpower, but we got some stability, some political power, and Tuva as a core. Once more. So, chaos in the capital. Let's bribe the aristocrats. Get a little bit less support from... Oop. Finally, the rebels have been able to take Uliastai from Loyalist forces. As a major stronghold in the west, we must take it back or we are able at all to prove ourselves to be the legitimate government. Alright. Now that we have massed a large force of troops a couple of miles away from Uliastai, it's time to take back the city. The question remains, however, how it is to be done. I have a feeling diplomacy isn't going to work. I have that feeling because I actually tried recording this part already, and they cut off the diplomat's head and sent it back to us. It's not necessarily sent back to us, don't get me wrong, but let's surround the city, try to starve them out. Makes sense to me, at least. Electoral gridlock. Up rebels forced out of city. What a success! With the city surrounded, the bandits were forced to eventually try to escape. Escape had failed due to the strength of our forces. Exactly as planned. There we go. Getting some more popularity for the Social Democrats, which is very, very nice. Ooh, Chahar's clash with settled Khalkha Mongols. In the province of Chahar, which I believe is, yeah, I think it's this one. Ethnic tensions have recently risen between the Chahar Mongols, the majority in the region, and the Khalkha Mongols, who live primarily in Outer Mongolia itself. There have always been tension between these two groups, primarily because the Chahar Mongols have always aided the Chinese and regularly fought against the Mongol rebels. With many of the generals and military units based there now moving to the west, violence has erupted in the area once again. Well, are we not all Mongolian, guys? Come on. Let's reinforce some troops, the troops in the west. Hopefully that'll help end this sooner. I'm waiting for things to kind of start stabling out so we can start working on our little focus tree here. Any second now, you know? Oh, the rebels are beginning to lose ground. It seems the rebels' methods have not borne in that many fruits. With their main troops having moved into the cities to hold out, Loyal's forces were easily able to crush any stragglers they left behind. Also, though they were able to take Kembeldir and Uliastai, they have not been that successful elsewhere. Other cities like Kov fell back into our fold. Victory in the west could be only weeks away, so we must secure our position politically. Excellent. So now I believe, yep, Democratic Mongolia, now's the time for change. We must seize the chance and, inspired from other democracies of the East, bring Mongolia to the democratic world. So we just bypass that. And now we can basically get one done right now. So we can either do Peasant March, circulate pro-democratic leaflets, or cooperate with monasteries. I think right now we should cooperate with monasteries, reduce the power of the Budin Zavlal. The monasteries, more neutral ones at least, are not our enemies, and we should try to work with them to destroy radical Buddhist influence and help promote socialism and democracy. That sounds legit to me. So, oh, got a coup in Argentina, cooperative monasteries. So we got that. Let's do a peasant march in the capital, get some more support going in Urga, because we still have a bit of a power struggle that's going to be happening. Yeah. Power struggle in the Ma clique. For many years, the Ma clique has been led by the family elder Ma Fuxiang. In the clique, he was seen as a pillar of stability, who would stop any power struggle occurring between the very divided Ma families. Many in China even see him as a stabilizer of the Northwest, and in Tibetan and our own aggression into Chinese soil. However, news just reached us that Ma Fuxiang has passed away. Currently, he has been replaced by Ma Ling, but another Ma Bufang, and Ma Ling are already embroiled in power struggle. This could be a perfect opportunity to take advantage of Ma Clique's position. Well, that is good to know. So we'll get that power peasant march going. There we are. The nice thing, I think, yeah, all these are 7-day focuses, so that's good. Let's circulate pro-democratic leaflets. In such a traditional society that Mongolia is, many people do not know the modern ways of socialism and democracy. Leaflets should be distributed to teach them the way. Seems legit to me. Bandits crush nomadic village. Once again, we have received word that a large group of bandits and rebels have attacked a village of nomads in the west, leaving hundreds dead. There are now hundreds of refugees, mostly women and children, who need assistance there to survive. We can spare the help. Mongolian, Daman Suren gathers forces on the Yuan-Kar border. Mongolian General Li Shujin has generally stayed uninvolved with power struggles happening currently in Urga. For years, he has continued to live in Inner Mongolia, raiding Chinese shipments through the region. Now we have just received reports that Zhaoling has gathered a large force on the border with Ma Clique, likely to do some border ranks into Ulankab. Well, let them begin. What's Russia up to, by the way? Looks like they have gone with the Senate. Shaolin makes his choice. With his large force moving through Ulankab, which I believe is... yeah, it's his province right here, which we have a core on, actually. A thought occurred to Shaolin. If he was to take Guaji, he would have de facto control of the province. With the Ma struggling with internal conflicts, it should not be too difficult to move his force through the region to take the city. Now it is whether decides to do it or not. You know, I like to live on the edge. Do it, man. I have faith in you. So we can either deal with Unberg or seize the noble's wealth. I don't think we can quite afford to do that right now. Let's wait until we get things a bit more stabled out. Let's deal with Ungern, the traitor. Some in Mongolia truly believe that the butcher Ungern Sternberg is good for Mongolia. An anti-Ungern propaganda campaign should be started, informing people of how brutal the Baron's rule has been. Sounds good to me, you know? Let's get working on that. What's Tibet doing? They have gotten the Young Tibet Party with Zarang Daza. Looks like Hunger Rights in Urga. With much focus going on, both the Western rebellions and the political battle for Urga, the people of Urga have been forgotten. With many roads being destroyed or in disrepair, much food from outside of the city is no longer getting in. For some people, it has been weeks since they've gotten a good proper meal. The people have decided to act. After another soup kitchen closed indefinitely in one of our poorest regions of Urga, people began smashing the shop windows or breaking in. After a few minutes, this began across the whole street. Within an hour, most of the city was in full-on riot. To stop the chaos, we must spend money to get food for the people. What do we want to do? Let's have a monk steal fit. A little bit less popularity for the nobles, which I think will be good in the long run. Keep the enemy factions kind of splintered off, you know? So Ungern the traitor. Got some more power going for us. And then we could remove Russians from government or seize the nobles' wealth. I think let's remove the Russians from government first. Many Russian nationals still work in our government, holding secret sympathies for the Baron. They must be removed to keep our regime safe. Sounds good to me. Sounds legit to me. Ooh. Rezukin massacres cities in Moron. Boris Rezukin, a brutal general and Ungern loyalist, has no real idea what is happening in Urga. When the Western rebellions began, he was sent to Moron to make sure rebellious activity not spread across the whole nation. Due to the chaos in the capital, we have been able to contact him for months. We have finally learned what has happened in Moron. Some refugees from the city arriving in Urga today have spoken of Rezukin has run the city in his own personal fiefdom, increasing the taxes massively to be kept for himself, and massacring civilians by the hundreds if they even question his leadership. No doubt this will make us less popular. I don't know why it makes us less popular, because we're not... That's not our guy, but... Fucking asshole. Screw him, you know? And we're gonna remove Russians from government. Ooh! After Li Xiongzheng has moved to take Guji to take Ulankab, he was met with surprisingly little resistance from Ma clique, though he has to fight some small battles with border troops and had to fight through the Guizi garrison. For now, it seems Ma have retreated from Ulankab. Finally, Mongolian families have been reunited, and Mongolian rule in the region has been restored. Good work, man. That's what I'm talking about. Ooh. Shit. So we can start training some guys, actually. Hold off. Let's look at this. Ungern Loyalist. I can't speak today. I don't know what's up. Ungern Loyalists marched towards Urga. After we were able to seize power from government, Ungern and his loyalist troops escaped. Now, after mustering his power in a village nearby, he and his troops are coming back to retake the city. His army, a mix of Mongols, Russians, and Chinese bandits, number over 1,000 troops. With most of the national army in the west, we only have the power of civilians and the hastily established revolutionary militia to defend the city. Call on civilians to resist and march in the militia. We're going to lose a lot of stability, more support, and manpower, and support of our party, but this should hopefully... There we go. Finally, after much fighting and many casualties, Ungern has been killed, and his troops have been repulsed. Urga is ours, for now. Well, the people of Urga want change, so we've got our party popularity back in an instant, which is very nice. And now that we got... Now that we got the chance, let's start training up some troops. Concerning. Move Russians from government, we've got that done. Now let's seize the nobles' wealth. Noble princes get their power and influence through their money. Money they earn exploiting the people of his nation. Their wealth should be seized indiscriminately to help the people. Seems legit to me. We are running a massive political power deficit, though. But it's the only focus we can really go down. Ooh, llamas come out in support of Abundance of all. Through the chaos, though chaos has engulfed Urga for many months now, the llamas of some of the main monasteries have remained rather silent on which side they support. Though the... Gandon Chinlen Monastery currently hosts the 7th Changakutuku. The lamas there have so far refused to declare their support for him and the Buddhas of all. However, just this morning, many of the lamas of some of the main monasteries in Urga, including that monastery, came out and declared their support for the Buddhas of all, stating that they are the only group who will keep Mongolian Buddhism safe. Well, that's certainly interesting. Hopefully that won't come and bite us in the ass. Hopefully. Seize the noble's wealth. Remove corrupt aristocrats. The aristocratic princes are what is keeping the people down. Their corruption cannot go unpunished, and they must be removed from their post. I mean, it seems legit to me. God, we are in a massive political power deficit. Which is not good at all. But now we can declare a constitutional monarchy. Finally, we have succeeded. Democracy and socialism has run in Urga. Now we must work on transforming the nation into a democratic and equal society. Well, it's only going to take about 7 days to do that. There we are. And I think that's going to get rid of this, if I'm correct. Ooh, fuck. With the rebels just being pushed back in the west, rebel groups have turned to other means. Just today, at around 6 in the morning, multiple bombs went off next to multiple major buildings in Urga. This includes multiple police buildings, the Russian consulate, and an arms factory. Of course, we'll need to pay to repair these buildings, but the treasury, as always, is quite low. Nobles, they'll pay. We got a few days before we declare our constitutional monarchy. And we'll have Western banditry to deal with. There we are. Declare a constitutional monarchy. So now we can get working on all this, which is going to take a lot longer, or we can work on our economy and our military. What do we want to do exactly? Let's work on our economy first a little bit before we get working on this. Then again, we could use some more research. Let's do this, and then let's work on the Trans-Mongol Railway. Nomadic economy. Mongolia is a very nomadic economy, with half of the population living nomadic in the steppes. Our economy must be formed around this idea. Works for me. Nope. Revolutionary state Mongolia. Much like Tibet, news from Mongolian capital Urga is sparse. For many years, the status quo of the nation has been the leadership of the Russian Baron Roman von Ungern-Sternberg. However, recently, news has come out after rebellion of the West nation. The revolutionary Mongol Ardanom overthrew Ungern-Sternberg while his army fought in the West. In a press release to a few media groups in Urga, the leader of Mon, Solon Danzan, stated that Mongolia is once again in the hands of Mongolians. That now Mongolia will be transformed into a democratic state for all Mongolians. Well, the Mad Baron's rule is at an end. People of Mongolia, finally we are free. The dictatorship of the Russian dog, Ungern-Sternberg, has come to an end. His death squads have been driven from the nation. No longer shall we live under a dictator. No longer shall we live under foreign control. No longer shall we be slaves. Solon Danzan's speech, held outside of a state great corral in Urga, went for almost an hour, talking in detail about the serious reforms the new government was going to make. He promised a redistribution of wealth, a real constitution, and democratic elections. Even though the speech went on for so long, the audience was captivated all the way. Nearly every other sentence of Danzan was met with cheers and thunderous applause from the crowd. Glory to Mongolia. When we finally get out of that little bit of a political power hole. Baroon, Mongolia. Ooh, Okay, well that's the end of a Nanjing clique. Left KMT. Gonna start. Looks like we're gonna start. These factions are gonna start consolidating their power, and we're gonna have to wait and see who ends up winning. We're gonna have to reinforce troops in the west in a little bit. Ooh, Anqing is declared on Shanqing Qingdao. Ooh, after many months of fighting in the west of the nation between bandits, rebels, and government troops, the rebellion has been crushed. Most rebels have been dispersed, gone into hiding, or fled the country, fearing for their lives. Orders come out on top, and the country is secured. However, there are still some small bandit groups taking advantage of destruction. They will have to be dealt with, of course. Well, we got a core back in the land, some stability, some political power, no longer demilitarized zone, and we still have to recover from the Western Rebellion, but that's only for 200 days, and we still have Western banditry. Don't we already have Western? Yeah, we already have Western banditry, so it's a good time to end the video, actually. Not funny how things work like that. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, go ahead and leave a like. If not, feel free to dislike and we'll see more of my content in future. Go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. I read all the comments I get, and I appreciate any little feedback you kind folks might have for me. Excuse me. If you want to support me financially, send a few bucks my way. There's a Patreon down below if you're so inclined. If not, I understand, but it would be nice if you guys could. And then I have a Discord down link below if you want to send a few bucks my way. Not send a few bucks. If you want to join up with me, we can chat, play games, and just have a fun old time generally. So that's really about it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. My name has been DB333, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.